All right, so we'll bring Laurel in as well, right? So we'll give it another minute, you know, just in case, 30 seconds or so. See if anybody else shows up. All right,
Okay.
and then we'll get started. Observatory, SHAA, Patrick. Oh, we got two things going. All right. All right, let's start. Oh, wait, Gary. Gary's here. There should be SHAA Gary. SHAA Gary?
I'll try to keep an eye on the waiting room so you can do your thing.
Okay. All right. Oh, let's start. Why not? My name is Dan, and I'm a member of the Sheep Hill Astronomical Association, and I'd like to welcome you all to our virtual public night. What is this, our third or fourth? I don't know. So unaccustomed as I am to hosting, I've got hosting duties tonight because Patrick is in the observatory trying to get the camera running to possibly image stuff for us. Saturn, Jupiter is up right now, so maybe we can take a look. I noticed Gary's here. He's a member, and Eugene's here. He's a member. However, he's a dedicated member because he's in North Carolina right now, and has been for the past few years. But we like it when he drops in. And this is his first time coming in, so it's nice to see Gene again. Let's throw open the questions first before Gary. Did you have a prezo for tonight? Did you have something to run or pictures to show or?
I have some pictures that I can show that were recently taken of Jupiter, Saturn, and Mars.
Okay.
Yes, I mean I can bring those up. Just give me a minute. I was initially going to try to get outside and get a live view, but I cannot tether. Okay. I cannot tether the image what I want to do. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So does anybody have any questions about us, who we are, what we do, you know, anything? Okay.
I had
go ahead, Bruce.
I had sent in a check for membership back on maybe August 5th. I don't think it's been cashed yet.
Bruce,
send it to any post office box.
Okay. All right. So I'll fire off a letter to Phil there. And anything else? Where do you live, Bruce?
I'm in Lake Hiawatha.
Oh, okay. So you're close to the hill.
So I'm very close.
Yep. Good. All right.
Unfortunately, my backyard is filled with trees and houses obstructing the view.
Right.
But I do have an area southeast where I have been able to see Saturn and Jupiter.
Okay, cool.
Like a couple of observing sessions.
Great.
Bruce, you have a scope?
Yes, my fiance gave me for my birthday a Celestron Nexstar 8SE.
Okay.
I ended up buying a 13 millimeter eyepiece to go with the 25 that came with the scope,
Good
Okay.
choice.
and a tank power pack to
Okay.
instead of using the batteries.
Yeah, they kill
Good.
batteries pretty quick. You put like
Yes,
a bunch
I
of
heard
double A's
that.
in there, and it's like one night, boom.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
All right, good
It's good
rig.
stuff. It's good, especially if you want to take it and go remote someplace. You've got that kind of power supply. It's always nice to have.
Yep.
Dan, I have images if you're ready. If you want me to show them.
Sure. You don't have,
I can just click on share.
what's that?
I should be able to share my screen.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
It says disabled. You disabled me, so.
I did not disable you because I didn't start this event.
Okay.
I didn't
I
book
may have to
this
wait on
event.
that.
Stand by.
Okay, there we go.
I hear an echo. There we go.
SHAA Rob is here. We'll bring him in. Gary can co-host.
All right, so I can get rid of that.
All right, go for it, Gary.
Got it. Very good. All right, you can see it.
Yeah, nice.
All right. So this is maybe actually last Friday into Saturday morning. So it's a very long night. But this was actually taken from my backyard, and that is the planet Jupiter. All right. Now, I don't know if you can see it right there. This little thing is one of its Galilean satellites. Kind of hard to see on that one.
Yeah.
Up. And that'll work. So as I blow it up, it just gets a little bit more blurrier.
Yeah.
But the belts that you see here are your equatorial belts. You have a northern one and a southern one.
Right.
All right, the southern one here, you can see the red spot.
Ooh.
All right, and yeah, it was nice, plainly visible. And up in here, you can actually see that is the shadow of one of the moons. As the moons rotate around Jupiter, they pass between us and Jupiter itself. So we do see shadows crossing the planet. It's very interesting, very dynamic planet. Nice to see. Hang on 1 second. I believe people are trying to get in. So I am.
Yeah, I've been adding people.
You've been adding? Okay, good.
Yeah,
Because it pops
yeah.
up on my screen, so I gather I don't want to
Yeah.
slide anybody. That's all.
No, I've been adding people.
Okay.
Welcome aboard, everyone.
But it wasn't too bad of a night as far as seeing goes. Basically, when we use the term seeing, we look up at the sky, you see if the stars are really twinkling. The seeing is poor. I can't see very well, meaning it's not going to be very clear. And this image isn't too bad. It's fairly clear, but not as clear as I would like it to be. We can always try to enhance it as time goes on. But this was just live last Friday night. So I figured, let me just take it and see what I can do with it as time goes by. But at one point, there were actually two moons on the face of Jupiter. I only caught one. The other one was coming around the edge, so I have to check the other images to see if I got it, because I didn't see it clearly like I see this one. But all in all, I got the moon in a red spot, so I was very happy.
Yeah, that's a great shot.
It came out pretty good. This one was slightly more enhanced on there. But the camera, just a little, I guess, on there. The telescope was it's a 5-inch Maxitov, and it's just a type of a Maxitov is a type of a design of the telescope. And again, it's fairly small, but it does the job. They're very, very precise optics. And when I connect my camera is a CCD, and CCD is charge coupled device. I guess you can kind of figure if you have a digital camera like a Nikon or Sony, Canon, picture that on steroids. All right, the image that you see here, it's like when you take a camera and you take a picture, usually about 1/125th of a second. This was like 1/1000th of a second. That's how bright the planet is and how sensitive the camera is. So it's really, really fast. It just sits there on my screen, just ching, ching, just steady. It's like a shutter. So eventually I just stop it, take the image that I like, and this is what I end up with. But one good thing about CCDs and imaging so fast is you can see, let's just say it took 10 images. I can look at those 10 images, and some of them will be blurry because of the scintillation, the stars that are flickering. And sometimes I get moments when it's very, very steady, and I can always save those images. The sometimes you look online and you see other amateurs and they post pictures of the planets themselves. And what they a lot of times will do is they will connect a video camera to the telescope, and it'll just videotape for however long they want to go, just say an hour. Then they go through those frames, frame by frame by frame, and they take out the best looking frames, and then they'll stack one frame on top of another. They get better definition by stacking the images. On a planet like Jupiter, because it rotates so fast, you've got to be quick. I mean, you got to get the shots, and you have to look at your time, because you see the spot, although the spot is here, you know, in 10 minutes, it's going to move over a certain amount, and you'll get a blur. It just won't line up in your image. But that builds, again, clarity, and you can actually, if you were to see this live, you can see the planet looking, you know, actually, if you use your eyes and you look at it through the telescope, sometimes you'll see it kind of blurry, then it steadies up, and then it goes back to blurry. So it's really neat. I'm not always happy with this scintillation, but it's something we all have to deal with.
Is there anything in your setup that's magnifying
Yes.
before it gets to the CCD?
Yes, good point. Thank you. I put a 15 millimeter eyepiece in there too. All right,
Okay.
so without magnification in there, the planet would be very small, and you got to figure that's probably about 150 on the magnification, and that's all about I could do that night. And I'll show, as I go on, I'll show you another picture. I'll show one of Mars, and I'll explain what happened there. But yes, you're correct. That was magnification. There is a lens between the CCD and the telescope itself.
Thank you.
That was another shot later on in the night. There was Mars. Mars is closing in on Earth, so I believe in October it'll be closest to us than it's been probably since I think 2003-ish in that area. The image is upside down because of the telescope. You can really see here, that's a polar cap, that white area. Here's some features like land features. When you look at Mars, it's basically kind of rusty, but you do get areas where you do see where the dust is clear, I guess you can say. You have mountains and whatnot. And that's what this area here would be. Right? Again, it's not very clear, but the thing with Mars right now is when you go outside and you look at Saturn and Jupiter, they're lower in the sky. And being that they're lower in the sky along the ecliptic, the path of the planets and the moon, I get more blurriness. Mars is up higher in the sky. So you'll see about 11:30, Mars will start to rise. This image you see here, going back to magnification, is probably close to 225, 250, because I did that with a 9 millimeter eyepiece, not the 15. The 15, it was still a little too far, like a little too small for me. I needed to get a closer image of it. And again, because it's higher in the sky, the image was a bit clearer. So with this camera, it's new for me, so I'm learning how to use it. So the image on Mars isn't as great, but I will work on it, because then I noticed some light areas in the planet in here. So I got to work on that a little bit. I missed one someplace. Let's see.
Oh,
Just a sec.
sorry.
Let me see if I can.
I love looking at Saturn.
I love looking at Saturn too. It's really amazing.
Yeah.
In this shot here, I hope you can see it fairly clearly, you know, a little bit. Of course, in this
See the bands.
A little bit. Well, he's
yes, you can see there's a band. There's a band here that's very bright,
He's,
and then there's one above it
he's
that's
got
a little bit darker.
maybe a little
Right.
more.
Also, if you look at the edge, you can see any division in the sides. Right.
Yeah, that's a great shot.
The other thing too is when you're looking, you have to realize the sun is at a different angle. Sun is coming in like this. Actually, yeah, it's actually going to be straight more off on the angle. But if you look up in this here, the upper right,
You're cutting out, Gary.
all right, let's see if I can slide this forward a little bit. All right, if you look in the upper right where the planet, the ball of the planet meets the rings, you'll see a shadow. That's the
Right.
shadow of the planet onto the rings.
Ooh.
So you usually get that when it's at opposition, meaning it's rising when the sun is setting. So that is, you'll see that grow a little bit, but you do not see it on the other side. So now I know, I had to sit and stare at it for a while, but I do see that shadow very slightly on the rings.
Yeah.
That is the ball of the planet itself. And again, that was the CCD, and that was again with the 15mm eyepiece. So you figure again like 150 on the magnification. Saturn is very close to Jupiter in the sky. You see Jupiter out there, the big creamy looking star out there in the southeastern sky. Saturn is just a little bit more east of it. It's a little like an orangey looking or yellowish looking star. So they're fairly close to each other in the sky, but not necessarily in their orbits. But again, being low, horizon wise, the seeing is not the greatest. So again, I just try to get some good shots or a lot of shots, and then just take the best ones that I can find.
Now, these are single exposures, not stacked, right?
No, it's a single exposure, yes.
Just want to clarify.
Yeah, I have not stacked on these yet, no.
Okay.
At some point, Saturn would be easier to stack because there's nothing going around the planet that you normally see. Jupiter, I got moons, I got the red spot, there's all the festoons, and again, if you look at here, not much dynamics on. Let me click back. Maybe not. There we go. As opposed to if you have Jupiter, there's a lot going on. And within 10 minutes, you will see things change very slightly, but the objects, the moon, the red spot, other parts of the clouds will move. Again, Jupiter is very dynamic. And even with a small telescope, the one night I was out, it's a 4-inch refractor. And I can actually see in these bands, white holes in there. So it's just, I'm looking deeper into the clouds. But really, really nice, really nice. If you get a chance to go out and see it, well worth it. Those are my images.
Very nice.
Yeah, I was happy. I was happy to see the spot, the red spot especially. It's very clear, very right there.
Yeah, and that other storm, right, like, I guess, perpendicular to it, right?
Here?
Yeah.
And here's your moon.
Oh, that's the moon shadow.
The moon.
I'm
That's a
sorry.
shadow of the moon.
Yeah.
The other thing you'll notice, if you bring up a picture, a current picture of Jupiter, and you see the red spot, you'll see what's trailing it. The band is actually the equatorial belt, the south equatorial belt. It's actually very light in color now. It's like it disappears.
Wow.
So
Cool.
it is. It's pretty neat, and it's nice to study it. I mean, take images of it and just save them someplace for an archive. There have been times when the northern equatorial belt here will disappear. So many years, it just fades. Man, it comes back. No one knows why, but it's nice. Again, taking images and pictures of it over the years, you get a nice collection.
Hmm. Hey, you're looking at the weather on Jupiter.
Exactly. Yeah, I can't predict it, but
Right. Exactly. Okay.
Right. I will go back.
What's that?
I will stop sharing.
Okay. I noticed Rob joined. Do you have any images for us tonight, Rob?
Nothing astro.
Okay. Bummer.
Got a
All right.
cool couple of other shots, but
Okay.
we'll stick on topic here.
Very good. Very good.
I did. Any other questions about the camera, Jupiter, Saturn, the imaging?
Is that a color or a black and white camera, Gary?
That is a color camera. I thought about doing the black and white, but I'm not going to go out and when you have the black and white, you have to take the black and white image, then you have to take one red, green, blue, filter it, and then add them together. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to do that. I'm more a visual guy. I've been doing this for a lot of years, and I just enjoy taking the telescope out and just observing. So, but occasionally I like to see the planets and get an image of the planet. Even the moon once in a while, I'll take some images of the moon, or double stars.
Now, with the eyepiece and the camera, it's not. Well, let me ask: is it straight through the back of the telescope, or is there a diagonal?
That one has the diagonal.
Okay, all right.
Okay. It was just easier for me to do that. If I'm going to go straight through, I then have to get another adapter.
Okay.
Okay, I have an image to share.
Okay.
Oh, let's go.
Well, actually, well, stand by. Let me get Zoom up on the right computer here. And
Okay, so for those late joiners, we have Pat is up at the observatory in Bhutan right now. He's
Hey,
got a computer, a camera attached to his computer, which he's going to try to image one of the planets, Jupiter or
Jupiter
Saturn.
up.
What's that, Jupiter? Okay.
Ooh.
Yep.
So we'll see.
But yeah, if you, I'm gonna need a minute though. So
Okay. All right.
where are the meeting settings?
Anybody have any questions so far? Anything? All
Bruce,
right.
you know how to find the planets, right? You can find Jupiter and Saturn.
Is that me? For me?
You can find the planets. You know where Jupiter and Saturn are?
Yes. I have the Sky Portal
Okay.
app, the Sky Portal Wi-Fi, and I have the Sky Safari.
All right, good.
I've seen both Jupiter and Saturn. Jupiter, I've seen four larger moons,
Galilean satellites.
but usually it's like one of the viewing sessions, it was 2 on either side of the planet.
Mhm.
One night it was 3 on one side, 1 on the other. So I haven't seen shadow or transit yet.
Okay.
And then with Saturn, I think I've only seen Titan along with.
Yeah, you got to really look hard at Saturn to see what's what. Maybe increase the magnification a little bit. But Titan is the most easily visible
Yeah.
on Saturn. Yes, agreed.
Now, when so with the Schmidt Cassegrain, is the image flipped? It's flipped left and right, but it's not flipped north and south. Is that correct?
It depends on, I guess, how you're viewing it. If you're going to view straight through or with the 90-degree.
With a 90,
I'm not certain.
yeah, with a 90-degree diagonal.
I
So
would
I'm not
imagine
sure,
it's
like-
probably inverted. They would be inverted, so south would be up and north would be down. If you're going straight through, I believe then it would change.
Okay, so
The telescope I had was a Maxitov, so it's pretty much identical to your Schmidt-Cassegrain,
yeah.
and the image that I showed you was inverted. Actually,
Okay.
no, the first one wasn't. The Mars
Jupiter, I don't think it was.
no, Jupiter wasn't inverted. Mars was. So Mars was a different way. Yeah, so the okay. So yes.
Yeah, I'm just
that
not
was
sure.
Going through on there.
Yeah, I'm just
Making sure I
not
just
sure
my
when
setup what it
I'm
was.
looking at Jupiter, is the southern band the upper one or the lower one? Because I haven't
Well,
seen the spot yet. So
How you can know in a telescope is when you're looking straight through the telescope and you're looking at an object. Move the telescope. If you move it south, the area in your telescope that is south, that's the new area that's coming into your view.
yes, okay.
That's how I normally do it. The other thing you have to realize too, when you look in the sky, we see north, south. We're on Earth. East is to the right and west is to the left. And when you're in the sky, it's actually reversed. It's strange. So just you have to think of it that way. It's
Okay.
on another planet. So I guess in Jupiter's Jupiter be kind of easy because you can watch it rotate a little bit. So then you'll know everything rotates from west to east. So it's easier to tell. Saturn, oh well.
Yeah.
We're not seeing much rotate on Saturn, but Mars will be coming up in Mars about 11:30ish. If you get the opportunity to see it, there's a Mars profiler online. Just search out Mars profiler.
Okay.
And it will tell you what's visible on Mars. You can input your date and time of your observation. And you can then, it will tell you what you're supposed to see.
Yeah, I had the I just, not to observe, but I just went out last night at one point and I had the Sky Safari.
Mhm.
And I was doing the time, I was advancing the time to see when Mars would get over the trees that are in the east from me. And it was probably like 3 a.m.
Okay.
It was
Wow.
like, yeah, I don't think I'm coming back out at 3 a.m. So I haven't seen Mars yet.
Okay. It's impressive. It's nice.
Pat, we have 2 images of you. We have 2 connections from you.
That's okay.
Am I freaking everyone out?
Just,
Yeah.
I've realized how much talent you have. You're on two screens at
Multi-camera
once.
Pat.
It's tough because I got to keep the, we're not tracking is not working right now. So I got to manually move this thing around. But let me share my screen. So this is what we have on our screen we have Jupiter in there with our camera.
Woo.
So I guess I should have tempered your expectations first, but so the seeing is not very good now, and obviously we're just tracking through the reticle.
Mhm.
So you can just about make out one of the moons in there, or maybe two of them.
3 of them.
I have it dialed down so that we can see the cloud bands clearly, but you can see them sort of come in and out of focus, and that gives you an idea of seeing conditions.
Okay.
So this was sort of a quick and dirty. I just threw the camera in there and just got everything lined up on Jupiter. So this is what we're looking at. I was able to capture one picture, or a couple pictures here. Let me show what we got here. New share.
Tough to get a good shot when the scope isn't tracking.
Yeah, I mean it's bright enough so you can get something decent.
That's not bad.
That's
So this
pretty
isn't
good.
too bad. Just a quick and dirty.
That's a pretty good shot.
Run on there. If I turn the, if I were able to stack images, you'd be able to make out the moons a little better. Or if I had the brightness adjusted before, you could definitely see all the moons, which I could screw around with now. But so this is our first live image from the stream from the observatory. So
Very nice.
somewhere.
Very nice.
Good effort.
History is made.
Right?
Nice.
Not too bad with a cell connection.
No,
4G or 3?
this is
4.
4G. We got up here. So let me do a new share. So this is what, this is sort of what I'm dealing with now. Do that, and that's sort of like the wide. This is like the wide view. This is the image I'm capturing. One of the next things I could do is possibly put a Barlow lens in there and get a better magnification to be able to see things a bit sharper. But we just wanted to get something up for you. So got some cloud bands. Let me move some things around here. Turn the gain higher. Should be able to see some of the moons in there a little better. Yeah, you can make them out a little bit better. Although now you can't see
yeah.
There they are.
Yeah, there's 3 for
How
sure.
cool is that?
So you can watch it fly by. Oh, there's another one. 1, 2.
Yeah, 3. Right? We got that one.
There's 1.
And then the other 2 on the other side.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's great.
So these will get better, but this is the hopefully humble beginnings of some better images streamed from the scope on our next public night. So
Great work.
Yeah, that's
Wonderful.
fantastic.
all right.
All right. Very
Back
good.
over to you, Dan,
Oh, okay. Well,
or Gary.
Gary, are you going to go outside, or are you?
I was trying to go outside with the laptop, but the laptop, for some reason, I have no Ethernet connection today.
Okay.
The cable that I stretch out the window is like 40 feet long. The Wi-Fi doesn't work outside. I tried streaming and going off the phone, and it just said no.
No, yeah,
So
you don't have the cable stretcher. I got you.
So the cable, that one, I used that one last time and it worked fine, but I tried today and it just didn't go. So I throw it off the roof. It's maybe something bounced wrong. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I'll get another one. I'll see what I can figure out. I'll test it out later or tomorrow on that cable.
Okay.
You got to figure out how to get the Wi-Fi outside. It's in the house. It works really well. There
You need
should
an
be something
extender.
outside I can tap into.
You
It's
need an
cable,
extender.
so it should be there. It should be, their hotspot should be there. Yeah, you can see how the planet kind of flickers, like that scintillation we're talking about.
Yeah.
The planet itself as it drifting by.
Yeah, if you go back to that, show you.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Gotta look and see what's in the bottom. One of the belts has some kind of round thing in it. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Maybe we have another moon shadow. Possible.
Seeing is really bad. And we
Yeah, well,
also,
it's
it's
also
also
low in the
possible
sky.
it's not cool enough.
Yeah.
That's one of the problems we have is it takes forever for the meter to cool down. So. But that's Jupiter.
Come here. Talk with me,
All right.
Pretty cool.
girl.
I would say so.
I'm impressed.
Me too. That's good. Okay. So my turn, right? So usually I do videos every few weeks. I've been posting videos on the SHAA website and on the SHAA YouTube page. And I've just been super busy with actual work. And I haven't been able to get one done in a while, but I have a script, which is probably going to be the next video. So we're just going to go through some of that and maybe you give me some feedback and we'll take it from there. All right. But this next video is going to be on the Milky Way. And everybody knows that when you look up at night, the only stars you see with your naked eye are the Milky Way, right? You don't see anything outside of our local galaxy, right? Milky Way is a spiral galaxy. It's got two main arms. One's called the Orion arm and one's called the Perseus arm. Yeah. Sorry, I lost my place. Got a little ahead of myself. Again, when we look up, yeah, when we look up, we see the Milky Way, right? And we can only see about 2,000 of the stars in the Milky Way with our naked eye at any one time. There are about 200 billion stars in the Milky Way. Now, this is going to make you feel really small and insignificant. Really small and insignificant. The Milky Way is 100,000 light years across. Let me share my screen because I have visuals for this that I'm going to be doing with the video. So let me share my screen and we'll go through this. All right. So there's the Milky Way. That's part of the Milky Way. That's an image I just grabbed off the internet. Over here on this side where it's the brightest is the center bulge of our galaxy. That's the center bulge of stars. Uh, there's another image of the Milky Way, but in this instance, and this is a long time exposure, but if you have a very clear night and you're in the southern hemisphere, those two fuzzy spots are the large and the small Magellanic Clouds. All right, so there are only three things you can see with the naked eye, but you can't resolve into individual stars from them. So the Magellanic Clouds are two other galaxies that we can see, and the Andromeda Galaxy, which in the northern hemisphere just looks like a tiny fuzzy patch of light, is something outside of our galaxy we can see. But we, like I said, we can't resolve individual stars. I'm talking about individual stars here when I say we look up in the sky and see. So there's a really nice image of the Milky Way, and again, the center bright spot is the center bulge of the galaxy. Another nice shot right there. So here we are. Sun, obviously, in that off the Orion arm. The bulge of the galaxy over on the right hand side. And another image of where our sun is. We're actually sit above the plane of the Milky Way by about, what is it, 20 light years or so above the plane of the Milky Way. So we're not actually in the middle of everything, as an aside. So remember how I said it was time to feel a little insignificant? So back here, our one sun among 200 or so billion suns that make up our galaxy. Now we can go even more insignificant, because where's the picture I have of this shot? Everything you see here is a galaxy. And it seems like there could be another 200 billion or no. It was 2 trillion galaxies that are thought to exist in the current universe.
Wow. That's a lot.
Let that sink in. 2 trillion galaxies. Each of those galaxies has at least 200 billion stars. That's a pretty big number. Again, that's a nice shot of the Andromeda Galaxy, which is a galaxy we can see from Earth, but again, not resolve any stars. That's 2.2 million light years from us, and it's on a collision course with our Milky Way galaxy, which in, I think, about 4 billion years is the point where we collide. We don't have to worry about that. That's another shot of the large and small Magellanic Clouds. Now, I said there are 2 trillion galaxies in the current model of the universe, right? 2 trillion? Is that what I said?
That's what you said.
Yeah, okay. Each of those galaxies has 200, we're going to figure 200 billion stars. How many stars is that? That is 4 with 23 zeros after it. That's how many stars approximately there are. 4 with 23 zeros after it. How can we be alone? Not to get philosophical. All right, so up here is the Drake equation, which was made famous in, I guess, the late 60s, 70s, maybe. I don't remember what the timeline for Drake was, but it was kind of a formula for figuring out how many civilizations are out there kind of like ours, with the ability to transmit and listen into space. We're supposedly intelligent life here on the planet, and any number of other variables here. It's a nice equation to play with, because you could manipulate the numbers in such a way that we are completely alone in the universe, or that there are billions of other civilizations like ours out there. So it's not very reliable. In fact, it's more of an thought experiment than anything else. But somebody came up with that. So that was from. I'm sorry. I have images here from what I was going to put in the video when it was going to include NeoWise, but I did a short video just for NeoWise, and that's come and gone. So I'm sorry about that. I don't know where else I was going here. I kind of strayed way off my script, but any questions or any pointers or adjustments I should make?
No. It just, I guess, Dan, sometimes like when we're at the observatory and talking about numbers, I guess to give an idea
It's
of
just
how big.
too.
What's that?
It's too big to comprehend.
It is.
But you have to say, yeah, you have to show everybody that in fact it is too big to comprehend. I mean, you have to say the numbers, right?
Yeah.
I think.
But in I guess to kind of drive home where Dan's going, what he's saying is, if you take the number 1 billion, right? 1 billion is pretty big, but just to think about it, if you took counted every second of every day, every week, every month, every year, it would take you over 30 years to reach 1 billion. So I'm around a little over 1 billion seconds. I'm good.
Yeah.
1 billion.
Yeah.
That makes me feel young.
Right.
Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm closing in on 2. How's that?
Yeah, there you go. Me too.
But I'm 1 billion seconds old. That's good. Yeah, it's pretty big. It's a huge number. And
the people don't. Everybody. I mean, you don't realize how big just the Milky Way is.
Exactly.
Right. And then you factor in that there are 2 trillion Milky Ways in one form or another.
Yes.
It just boggles the mind. So, and that's not to say that there isn't enough gas out there and dust and whatever to make billions and billions of more.
True.
I don't know. I started doing the research and writing the script, and it just spiraled way out of control with numbers and distances. And I mean, it takes light from the sun 8 minutes to reach us, right? And yet we can look up in the sky and see something 2.2 million light years away.
Yeah.
If you want to look at Andromeda, right? The Magellanic Clouds are even no, they're only 163 and 206,000 light years away. So Andromeda is 2.2 million light years away.
Yes.
So 2.2 million years ago on Earth, where were we? Wild.
It's really weird to think that.
Yeah, starts getting the philosophy going in the head, and goes.
What I find really amazing is that like we said, there's billions of stars that are out there, but yet astronomers can focus on one and say, this is what's going on. Like they'll take images of the sky and see some move faster than others, but there are some, maybe you look at them, maybe they just look a funky color and they're just like, that's just too red. We need to study it.
Right.
But they'll just tell you a whole story about that one star,
what
it's doing, what's going on. And so it'd be interesting to see as years go by, what kind of other technology it'll develop. Now we're finding more planets around stars. And
wait until artificial intelligence starts getting in the mix and starts looking at whatever computer speed it's running at, right? AI is going to start scanning those images, all of those sky images. again, now what I'm talking, when I was talking about, I was talking naked eye.
Mhm.
Scientists, astronomers use telescopes which can see millions and billions of light years away. But with our naked eye, we can only see as far as Andromeda, which is 2.2. And you need a pretty good dark sky to really make it out. At least I do.
Because you're over 1 billion seconds.
Exactly. I'm closing in on 2. I'm closer to 2 billion than 1.
I didn't go there.
Oh, I'm a lot closer to 2 billion than 1. So anyway, I just lost my train of thought. I'm so sorry.
Oh, Dan, it seems like a good basis for the video, because like that image you showed was the Hubble Ultra Deep Field, and that's a story unto itself. I mean, it's
Right. That
some
image,
point you got to pare it down.
yeah, no, that image is being repeated over and over and over again. That was the first one that they saw, that it was like, oh my God, these are all galaxies, but it's being repeated in different areas of the sky, and that it just keeps coming up as the deeper you look or the longer you look, you see more galaxies and not individual stars. It's amazing. Pat, that's an almost unnerving image of you.
Closer.
Yeah, right. I'm all red because of my lighting, and Pat's all washed out. Yeah. So, yeah, but again, with the philosophical
Ooh,
thing,
nice.
oh, much better. How can we think we're alone in the universe when there's so many other stars out there? And you figure that there's one planet around each star, whether it's in the Goldilocks zone or not, you still have 4 with 23 zeros after it number of planets, right? If you figure one planet per star, there's got to be life somewhere.
Girl.
That's my thought. Anyway, completely my opinion. Not the opinion of the group. Anybody have any questions, I guess? Anybody have a scope they have questions about? They need help setting up, or anything?
Do people typically leave the scope set up, or mostly set up, or tear it down after each observing session? I'm curious, because the way I've been doing it is I tear it totally down, which means I'm taking off the red dot finder, which isn't that great. I'm not having a whole lot of success with that anyway. But pretty much putting it back in the box that it came in. And I'm wondering how other people do it.
I just leave mine set up. It's over my
I
shoulder in
see
the
it over
background
your shoulder,
there, right?
yes.
So
Black one, yes. Okay.
I just hump it in and out when I want to. It's a small 6-inch reflector, so
Mine are all broken down.
yeah. Well,
Every
you have
time.
you
They're
have
all back in the
much
box.
more serious gear, so
Yeah, some of mine have cables on them, and I can't have cables hanging. I have cats. They'll eat them.
right. See, my cats don't touch any of that stuff. I have
No,
cables all
that's-
over the place. Yeah.
I'll break everything down, put it back in the storage, put it in its box, and leave it there. Like you're saying with the finder, when you get outside, first thing to do is just line it up. I usually forget, but then when I go search for something, I'm like, oh, guess what I forgot, you know? But yeah. But it's nice when you have something bright outside that you can actually just locate really quickly and set the finder up and get the finder straight.
Yeah, my last session, I was using the Sky Safari and Sky Portal, and I tried to do an alignment, and I thought I picked Jupiter and Saturn, which I know are close, but they're bright and I can find them.
Right.
And then I went pretty much a little more than 90 degrees and got Arcturus, which
Right.
is just over the roof of part of my house at that point. And the app, I don't remember the name that it gave me, but it gave a different name for the star. So from that point forward, I was close going back to Jupiter and Saturn, but trying to locate just about anything else was kind of a challenge because I wasn't close, because it really wasn't aligned. And that's probably, of the handful of observing sessions I've had with the scope, that's probably the best in terms of alignment I've gotten so far. So I guess, I hope it gets easier, or I get better at it. Is that?
Maybe try starting with aligning a star. I know when you put I know with those, there are two things. One is, of course, you have to have the right longitude and latitude. If you don't have to enter it, sometimes it's GPS. But the other thing too is the planets becomes maybe a little bit more of a problem, because the planets move, unlike the stars move, yes, but the planets physically are not in the same spot. You know, you have to input the right date and time to know where the planet is.
Okay,
maybe
yeah.
start out with the star. Maybe go to Arcturus and say, this, you know, this is Arcturus, start there, and then let it find another star.
Okay.
Pat, it's like when you're looking over your shoulder, it's like the moon's outside, or, you know, maybe Jupiter's looking or something. Pretty neat. Hey, oh, now it's gone. So we discovered something. It's there. It's just...
Hey,
What do you got there, Joe?
I don't know if you can see that. That's the video that we watch.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that has, I don't know if anyone can see that, great courses. I know Montville Library has a selection of great courses. I'm not sure if they have this one, but they talk about that deep field picture that was the Hubble was taken, and it's really interesting that was because of director time. It was like director discretion that they were able to put that in a black, you know, dark part of the sky and see what they saw, and you know, sure enough.
Yeah, that was completely a surprise to them. They just wanted to image. They just picked a spot in the sky and set it for, I don't know what it was, hours, right?
Yeah, over the course of like days, they did the imaging. But that brings up another thing. You say that there's so many, you know, so many galaxies, so many suns that, you know, you would think there's a good chance that there's intelligent life out there. And then I have this book. So this is like a cautionary tale. This is a really great history of all the meteorites and craters. They talk about Tunguska, a lot of history of what this guy could find out about what had happened in the past, and the history too of people going out. Like Tunguska occurred when Russia was basically in like some war. I think it was some kind of civil war, and they weren't really concerned about scientific observation of the area after the meteorite, which it's, I guess they call it an event because there was no, I don't think there was any debris found. It didn't actually appear to hit Earth. It exploded above and then created a wave, a shock wave that blew down a lot of trees. But this book, basically, they say at the end, any planet that has civilization that has a chance of surviving has some kind of space program, because something's going to hit you at one point, and you need to be aware of that. You need to see it, and you need to do something about it. And it's funny too, because what was just was that, I guess, last Sunday, an asteroid came within 2,000 miles of Earth, and we saw it after it had already passed. We noticed it.
Wow.
First time either. It's happened before.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this one, I think this is the closest something that size is passed.
Yeah.
So it was within 2,000 miles, and they said that it wasn't a danger. It was smaller than that one that recently hit Russia, the Chelyabinsk.
Chelyabinsk.
Yeah, it was smaller than that. It wouldn't have really caused a lot of, probably not as much damage as that. But surprise, you
Yeah.
didn't see it, and
Yeah.
there it is. And if something significant came our way and we didn't notice it soon enough, and we weren't able to do anything, that's it. That's
Wait,
one of the
2020 is
variables in
not
the
over
trade
yet.
equation. What's that?
So I say 2020 is not over yet.
Thanks, Dan.
Please, please. That's all we need.
Oh, that's the
That's
observatory?
Saturn, nice.
Oh, sweet.
That's great. Very cool.
So you can just about see the shadow at the bottom right, shadow of the sphere.
Right.
And I bet if we stack some images, you could probably make out the gap in the rings.
Mhm.
But the seeing, you can tell how bad the seeing is. It'll pop in focus, pop out of focus. So I
Yeah,
have to
again,
track
low in the-
manually, but it's the way it goes.
This is awesome. I nominate Pat to do this in perpetuity.
Yeah, all the time, for sure.
Why?
Capture
Because he's good
image
at it.
here.
For sure.
Hey guys, question from YouTube is to recommend a beginner telescope.
Gary.
That's a tough one.
is.
Normally, I guess for me personally, I guess it depends upon what you really want to do. Where are you going to go? What are you going to do with it? Because you don't want to buy something. How much money do you have to spend? And what I would say is see how much money you've got. If you buy something that's a reflector, that's going to give you more bang for the buck. You'll get a bigger mirror than you would with a refractor. I normally go to Orion telescopes and search them out and see what they're recommending. If you want something with electronics on it, again, you'll spend for the electronics, but the mirror size will get a little bit smaller. So no one specific model will come to mind, but Orion seems to be, they do pretty well. I've owned a couple of their scopes over the years. I own some of their eyepieces, and it's reasonably priced, and it's pretty good stuff that they have. But as far as a telescope, if you go with a reflector, you will get more telescope, more bang for your buck because of the mirror. A refractor is going to be probably overpriced and just out of the budget.
Yeah, don't get one of those cheap $99 refractors. Sorry.
But also too, going back, because even like when Bruce was talking too, what I did a while ago, I've been doing this for a lot of years, so I understand when I look up at the sky, I can tell stars and the big names and things like that. I understand it. And within the last 6 months, I bought one of those go-to drives, and I wanted to see what it was and how it worked. And I guess when you connect it, it basically powers on. It asks some questions: who you are, like where do you live, and your longitude, latitude, date, time, stuff like that. And then it asks you to do an alignment. And when you say yes, it'll start rambling off stars and say, okay, let's just use Arcturus as an example. So it will say, okay, and it will go towards Arcturus, but I understand where Arcturus is. Some days it misses. So I don't know how someone that has no knowledge of the sky would actually use it. You'd have to get an app and make sure that your app is accurate. When we're at the observatory, people come in with their astronomy apps, and they're like, well, let's look at Orion. The app says it's there, but it's summer. Orion's not up. So sometimes the apps, they're not 100%. So you have to have some knowledge. I mean, you can ask questions here, like what's out in the sky, or when your app open it up and see like Jupiter or Saturn, as long as you know, even the moon, everybody can identify the moon. It shows you where the moon is. That would probably be a good starting point with the app. In the event you get stuck with one of these scopes that's all electronics and it's looking for a star, and you're uncertain if it's pointing at the correct star.
I like to recommend if you're unsure what to get and you're just starting, a good investment is a nice pair of binoculars. Yeah, we were just discussing. So a good start is a nice pair of binoculars if you're really not sure, because you can do a lot with a decent set of binoculars that are useful in other ways too. You know, we have a pair up here of Celestron binoculars that and it's usually not going to break the bank. But I think the first thing you want to do, like for example, we have this pair for the observatory, which are about, trying to get this going, about this big. So these are not 50s. I'm trying to think of what the objective is on these. I don't know, but either way, buying a nice set of binoculars is a solid way to start, and you can put them on a tripod if you want. You can see, you can pick out moons on Jupiter, and things like that. Another thing to do. Does anyone know what the tabletop telescope brand is? It's escaping me right now. If anyone else could jump in.
A couple of vendors do make those, because I know Celestron makes
Doesn't
one.
Celestron make one?
It does sit right on the table. It's on its own little mount. You can just pop it on
Celestron
the
does.
table.
Yeah,
Right.
Orion has one too. It's like a 4-inch reflector. Little
Yes.
tabletop.
Yeah.
What brand was that, Nick?
Orion has one.
Orion? Okay. Yeah, like I said, Orion's got some good stuff. It's nice. Again, everything comes down to your budget, but a reflector would be nice to have because you'll get a larger mirror and more things to see. And like Pat's saying too, if you want to go with binoculars, they're very simple. No real setup required. Just sit outside with a chair.
Right.
You're good to go.
You want to try and get something that you'll use. That's why the tabletops are nice. You can put them on a picnic table. You can bring them camping with you, things like that. Same goes for binoculars.
Yeah.
And then it's a good start to graduate from, and if because there are things you can't see with binoculars. So then you can, or that you could see maybe with a 4-inch tabletop scope. So you can. It's a good jumping off point.
But also to what Pat, what you're saying too is if you have binoculars, they're reasonable on the cost, and you'll know more. I mean, you'll learn the sky better, and then you'll learn, is this really what I want to do?
Right.
You didn't want to use it.
Learn the
You buy a
sky.
telescope, if you don't use it much, what are you going to use it for? Binoculars, at least you've got them. You can use them by day. You can use them at night. You can go out bird watching during the day if you'd like. In the telescope, everything's upside down.
Unwieldy to watch birds.
The other thing too, this if you join an astronomical association, I don't know if you're a member of ours, but you can talk to the other members and see what scopes they have, and sometimes they're upgrading and they'll have something that you can purchase from them that you'll know about, and it's something that person probably liked, but they're moving on to something bigger and better.
We can also do a lending program here at the observatory. We have a few scopes that members can borrow, to learn on, and practice setting up and things like that. So for particular brands, we to answer your question more specifically would be, I think Orion makes a small 4-inch tabletop reflector. The model name escapes me at this point, but it's sort of got it's like a spherical base.
Astro something.
Can't remember what it is. So,
Yeah,
sorry.
The Astros
You'll have to use a Google
was
machine.
years ago. Remember that? The red one?
The
Yeah.
what?
They had that red telescope. That was what, the Astro scan, I think it was?
Yes.
That's what I'm thinking of.
That port and it came down to the ball. Those were
Right.
nice. I
They
like
still make
those. I
things
was going
like
to get
that,
one, but I never did. But yeah, you could take that anywhere. But yeah, I don't think I
Joe's
did.
got
I
one
think
up there.
Somewhere
Yeah, you
someone
did.
did a mock-up of that somewhere.
Sky scanner, and it's like $100. I don't know if that's the one, but it's an Orion. 112, well, 10012 sky scanner.
Yeah, it all depends on, you know, how much you're willing to spend. It's not, it's an expensive hobby to jump into, right?
And they just said that they live down the block from the observatory.
Yeah.
So I don't, you know, if you join, you may have access to 18-inch Newtonian.
You're right.
A good scope that I don't
Right.
think like any of us here could afford to have a personal scope that large like we have at the observatory.
I'm close.
Hey, Gary's got
Gary.
16.
Yeah, it takes a forklift to move it around.
Ah, it fits in the Prius. Come on.
Yeah, just because it fits in the Prius doesn't mean I want to be humping it, lifting it all over the planet.
It outweighs me.
Yeah, I bet.
So here's a good example. These I found out what these
Binoculars.
binoculars are. So these are Celestron. They're 50 millimeter. I think that's what that is.
Okay.
7 by 50. These are a pretty good pair of binoculars, and something like this will usually. I'm trying to think, maybe a few $100s.
Yeah, and
But
those
as
are
you
the
said-
perfect size for astronomy, 7 by 50s.
They can, that you can pack them when you go camping. So you can put them on a camera tripod. So they're a good starting point if you're not sure you want to shell out too much money on a big scope, and see. So with these on a clear night, you could easily see. You could make out the moons around Jupiter, and you could just about tell that Saturn is a weird shape. So there are things you can do
Right.
with binoculars that can get you started.
The other thing too, I think they're going to go back with NEAF, the Northeastern Astronomical Forum, that extravaganza. I think they're trying to have a live one in September. And when they tried in April and it got canceled for the COVID, what they did, a lot of the dealers did, was they had sales online. Because I know High Point Scientific out in Western New Jersey, over there off Route 15, I think it is. Montague had a sale online, and they had binoculars and just some smaller scopes, whatever they were going to be demoing. They just said, "Hey, it's demo. That's that," and they were selling it for a lot less than what it was actually worth, like what they would normally sell it for. So yeah, it was on sale. So that maybe, and I believe they're going to try again in September. So you got to keep an eye out to see if they're going to have it or not going to have it. Or maybe get another sale there too. Would be pretty good.
Oh, NEAF in September would be great.
Oh, how you doing?
Oh, visitors at the hill.
Oh, Pat's got visitors.
But
we forgot to bring masks. Unless we have one.
So the scope's not set up for video viewing right now. We're doing a webcast right now on the Zoom. If you can get to our Facebook page, there's a link there. Because we have a scope set up for.
Saturn was looking pretty good. The camera's doing very well.
Yeah, Saturn was
Nice that he's able to get it going.
So we're not able to do.
Yeah, if it were higher in the sky, much cleaner shots, right?
Yeah, like I said, when you look at Mars, you'll see the difference because of the, the height in the sky. Mars is a lot cleaner.
All right. Anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, we're usually open the third Friday every month.
Noisy up at the hill, huh?
Yeah. You should all be happy. Pat's the one getting bitten up, right?
Right. Exactly.
Do you guys have the monthly meetings on the first Friday, or is that postponed until further notice?
We're doing the meetings. We're doing virtual meetings also.
Yeah, we do those via Zoom.
Okay. All right.
We've been doing that so we can talk to one another. Try to keep everything going.
Okay, good.
Yeah, if there's a question or something, you can email. You're in the group. Just email the group if you have questions about anything. You should start seeing email. If Nick says you're in, you're in. So it's good.
Somebody just has to go to the PO box.
Right,
Send
exactly. I'm
Send
gonna,
an email-
I'm
send
gonna
an
send a
email
note to Phil.
to the email on the website with your information, and we'll add you to the private group site.
Okay.
Bruce, what's the first letter of your last name?
B as in Bruce.
Bruce B. Okay.
Yes.
Getting hazy.
Mm-hmm. See a definite
It's like it's got its own smoke trail, huh?
Yeah.
You had visitors, Pat?
Where'd it go?
Another YouTube question. Recommend places to view within 2 hours of Bhutan.
Of where?
Bhutan.
Sheep Hill Astronomical Association Observatory.
In Bhutan. Dark
Catskills
sky.
is good viewing.
Where is that?
Catskills.
Yeah.
Take the thruway straight on up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Gary, you go to Harriman, right?
pick a spot.
I go to Harriman State Park. But to be honest, you're not supposed to be in there after dark. But with the whole COVID thing, they haven't been throwing me out, so nobody wants to bother.
Yeah.
They just leave you alone, But yet, technically, you're not supposed to be there. But yes, it's a very pretty dark place. It's nice.
We are officially clouded out now.
Okay. You could probably go west, out Route 80 ways and, go out by the Delaware Water Gap. It's about an hour away, 45 minutes away. It's pretty dark out there.
What's the forest? What's R15? Stokes.
Stokes, yeah.
Stokes, yeah. They used to have the Stokes Star Party a few years back, but then they stopped. Montclair University has the area. They were, I guess, leasing grounds out there.
Really?
And a couple times a year, they would open it up to the public, and they would have the Stokes Star Party. You look it up, and you'll see when they used to have them. I had gone there maybe 3 times. Nice and dark. It was a really nice site. But in the last year or so, they stopped. Something happened. Montclair didn't want to do it anymore. Whatever. Or they lost the lease to the property.
Right. Oh,
But it
there
was
you
nice.
go, Pat.
What's that?
See, is that Saturn there?
Yes.
Oh, fat.
Yeah.
Has anybody
go.
been to Jenny Jump State Park?
I have not. Other members have.
Okay.
I have not.
I have to go one day. I got to see what it's all about.
Yeah, me too. I've been saying that for years, though. So
Yeah, and it's not the time right now, but we'll see.
no. Although they're open, aren't they? Didn't Warren say that Jenny Jump was back open?
Yes, he did.
I believe it's open by invitation. I think you have to have an invitation to go there.
Oh, okay. All right. So
Me and my wife went there on a date night. It is dark out there if you drive there after the sun goes down, but it's really great. A whole bunch of scopes around, very friendly people, everybody willing to let you look through their scope and explain what they're looking at. I fell in love with a night scope. It was awesome. It was so amazing to be on the East Coast and look through a night vision scope and see
cool.
how many stars there are in the sky. It's like mind blowing because you don't get to see that often. But
Right.
they also do they have programs. So I think every Saturday they would have a different program, and it was really interesting. They had the one I attended was about the moon landings, so it was really interesting.
cool. All right. So we got a bunch of suggestions. Jenny Jump State Forest, right? Where is that? What town is that in?
It's
Hope?
north
I
and
think that's
west.
Hope, isn't it?
Hope?
Hope,
Yeah.
maybe?
So
think
that's
so,
out
yeah.
Route 80 a ways, right?
Yeah,
You get to the Delaware Water Gap, you went too far. Turn around.
that's it.
Yeah, exactly. And you can continue going out to the gap, but with Jenny Jump right there and the observatories right there, that's a great place to go. And you can try up New York State if you want to go to Harriman.
Harriman's not bad. For me, it's a 40-minute ride.
Right, yeah. So they were saying within a 2-hour radius. So or they could go out to Pennsylvania, further out 80 west, and although out there by Stroudsburg is a little bright, I think. No.
If you get in the Pocono area,
Yeah.
you're probably looking at some nice places. I don't know the area too well, but I do know it's pretty dark.
Okay. So there you go. There's 2 directions, north and west. Certainly don't go east. South.
Oh, I can attest to that.
South is too bright as well. So yeah, I'd go west.
Actually, south, I think one of the guys that writes for Sky and Telescope, I think he does his observing down in the Pine Barrens.
Yeah.
All right. I've never been down there. I should go.
That's certainly at their 2-hour limit, right?
Probably. Yeah, I don't know how far down, Now it's summertime. Who wants to be going down that way? You're gonna hit short traffic and whatnot.
Nobody wants to be in the humid Pine Barrens at night.
I think that's where the Jersey Devil is. Too.
Jersey Devil lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? You want to see the dome, the arch of that, the Milky Way, the globe.
Yeah.
The bulge. You gotta pay the price. You gotta pay the piper, right?
Get eaten by the Jersey Devil? Yeah, I'll pass.
There you go. I got my devil shirt.
The size of the Jersey Devil.
I got the Pittsburgh shirt on tonight. I'll be eaten by the devil. That's it.
There you go.
So something Laura pointed out was to me was that I think today is the anniversary of the eclipse from 3 years ago.
Yes, it is.
Oh.
Wow.
It is. The partial solar, right? Yeah.
Time flies. Huh? It's 3 years already.
I can't believe it.
Wow.
That's right. You guys saw the whole. You saw the whole schmear there, right? You were down in Tennessee or something.
Tennessee.
Yeah, that's right. So I'm still planning on 2024 up in Burlington, Vermont. So
Yes, that should be pretty good. Let's see where we are at that point in time.
It's got to be slightly better than it is now.
unless that asteroid hits.
There you go. 2029, right? When I have to retire, it's like 2029. Yeah. Happy retirement. Boom.
Yeah, the day after you retire.
That's it. Oh, the check's in the mail, Gary. Yeah, okay.
Thanks for the heads up, Gar. I'll get my affairs in order.
That's right.
Yeah, right.
That's it. I'll tell you though, like in talking about that and asteroids and what you were saying before, as far as something passing so many thousands of miles, there are times when I've seen two where, you know, Sky and Telescope or somebody will say, hey, there's an asteroid passing nearby Earth. And if you put it in your eyepiece, you can actually see it moving. It's not a star. The stars aren't going anywhere.
Right.
But it's actually pass. It's like watching a comet in fast motion. And it passes these stars live right in front of your eyes. It's scary in a sense, you know?
Right.
But actually, while we're talking too, I know there's been issues they've been talking to with the WebEx people, and they're putting up all these satellites because they want the high-speed internet all over the world. And the astronomers argue back that if you go outside at night, you see the satellites flying over. Sometimes it's just one after another, and that's these satellites. Now, and astronomers want to take pictures. If they're flying through the ecliptic, you can't get any images. How do you know what's going on?
Right.
So, see what happens with that. I'm kind of curious where that ends up.
Gary, they said the last Starlink launch.
Starlink, yes.
But they put them I actually looked for that. I couldn't find it, and they said it's because they tried something different so that it wasn't as annoying, I
Yeah,
guess.
You're going to
for
paint the bellies black so it doesn't reflect the sun. So the astronomers are going to have to work around it. But it's sad, and I mean, it's like you're shooting yourself in the foot. Here you want high-speed internet, but you're kind of blocking what we're trying to look for. You know,
Right.
it's just strange.
Oh, you mean like the internet that Pat's using to stream this to us?
Yeah, exactly.
So we can look at the satellites.
That's yeah. It's just, I don't know.
All right. Any other questions? YouTube? Anything? Bueller?
That's it from here.
I have a archive.
You got a shot of the eclipse?
A shot from up in the Catskills. What you can see. It's through the trees. It's not great, but
Oh, cool. Let's see.
all right.
We have to give Rob access, don't we? Sharing rights?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know how to do that.
Hang on, I'll get it.
It should be on for everyone. You should be able to just do it, Rob.
Oh, okay. Let's do
I don't know if
that.
I put that on, but let me. There, you are a co-host now, Rob.
Okay, great.
Go for it.
Anybody see that?
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
That's nice.
That's
really nice.
That's a piece of the Milky Way, and I actually have a time lapse, short time lapse of you can see the Milky Way just floating through the gap. It's a really cool exercise if you want to utilize some inexpensive camera equipment that you've already got, and you can if you can do time lapse on it, you just point it right up to the sky through the through a gap in the trees, and you can get a really cool time lapse.
Neat.
That's it.
Those are nice clear skies, though. Nice dark skies.
Yep. Oh yes, you can reach out on a good night. You can reach out and pluck the Milky Way.
Nice.
You really can.
And Rob, how far is that from here? Drive.
It's about 100 miles away. It's in, I can never remember. It's right near the line of Ulster and Greene counties. And if you get on up there and find some kind of an area away from the streetlights, you can really get some cool looking well, I won't call them dark skies. They're technically not, but
right.
You can see the Milky Way with your naked eye. And it's quite cool. I don't think I have any more shots there. Okay. So that was it from the Catskills.
Good.
All right.
Pat, it was a success.
Yeah, for sure.
Smashing success.
It was good.
Hang on, Joe didn't get to see Jupiter.
Got to bring the gain down.
There it is. Really nice.
Seeing is still pretty bad, but
yeah,
it's live. It's amazing.
Right? It is.
Pat, do you think we'll be able to capture images and stack and then display for future public nights?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I don't know, not tonight because the tracking's not working right now. That's why it's floating across the screen. But yeah, we should be able to do that. So like I can capture an image right now.
That's awesome.
Cheers. I was trying to use the Barlow lens, but I couldn't get it in there. But so that is our live image.
Amazing.
That's awesome. I am gonna have to punch out. I have another online meeting that's gonna start in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's getting about 10 o'clock. Time to get moving on.
Yep.
I have my scope outside. I have to get it back in. Well, actually, take a look and see what I can do.
Pat, are you at Blairstown tomorrow?
Yes. Well, I don't have something scheduled yet. I need to. Are you headed out there?
2 p.m. Will be my first.
Cool. I will. I gotta contact Brenda, but hopefully
Cool.
some point this weekend.
All right.
Very good.
All right, everybody. Thanks.
All right, Joe, take care.
See you
Take care,
next
Joe.
time.
Nice
Bye.
meeting everybody.
Pleasure, Joe.
Bye-bye.
Take care, Bruce. Bye. I'm gonna drop off too. I gotta check out, see what I got, if my scope's still in the back.
Okay.